part. But so a couple of things. One is resolution. So most of the screens right now are 2K screens. Our visual cortex of our brain is probably somewhere north of 8K, 16K.
Right.
Where
Right.
where is that?
It's between 8 and 16, but I'll tell you what, I think one of the reasons we're going to have a good time in the next couple of years is that I've seen 4K displays, and I'll tell you that there's a really cool thing, which is because the display is mounted on your head. I think you and I
Yeah.
have talked about this before. Because the display is actually fixed to your face, it
Hmm.
gives us this really cool thing happening, which is that you're constantly moving the display like a screen door over the stuff that's in the virtual environment, because sort of it's not moving and the
Right.
pixels on your face are. So what happens, and I've talked to several of the scientists, guys like Michael Abrash at Oculus and others, the thing that's happening that's really cool is that you get a higher resolution for free because your brain has to integrate over time. Your brain's kind of a slow, precise looker, right?
Hmm.
You see things with tremendous acuity, but it actually takes us like hundreds of milliseconds to understand what we're seeing. So when we're running 90 frames a second, which is what we're doing in VR, I get to show you that 2K screen at a slightly different position 90 times a
Interesting.
second. So what we get is we get a little anti-aliasing, as we call it in the
Interesting. And
technical
and
industry.
so you don't need foveal rendering to get the resolution.
I think foveated rendering will probably be helpful. We do need eye tracking to let people communicate, and that's going to be easy because there's already two headsets that have eye tracking built in. I'm almost sure either the Santa Cruz or a variant closely thereafter will have eye tracking, and so we're going to have it. That eye tracking enables foveated rendering, but I think we're going to be able to use like a 4K per eye approach, even if we didn't have a foveated renderer. And then there's some wonderful startups that
And it's great. And the fact that they actually started making 4K screens, because they really didn't. They were creating 4K content, but weren't making 4K
yeah, you're
screens.
right.
All this is being driven by, of course, these things.
Yeah.
There's a couple of big points. Is you repeatedly are ahead of yourself, right? The whole concept of the Linden dollar was a early economic ecosystem within Second Life, and the potential now for cryptocurrencies blows this out massively. So you've talked about, and we're going to talk about this hopefully on stage with Tony Robbins as well at A360 this year. And by the way, everybody's so excited. Philip's going to be coming back, and we're going to be talking about the future of AR and VR and how you
Yeah.
can use this in your business. Because again, I want to call it that I think we're going to start to hit the knee of the curve of the deceptive to disruptive